Yes! It's finally over. The winless drought in overtime. The blue jersey bullshit. The monkey is off the back. Let's go. The Montreal Canadiens defeat the Vancouver Canucks on Hockey Night in Canada. 5-4 in the shootout. They finally win a game in the extra frames. Woo! Huge win for the Habs tonight. They needed that extra point because the Canucks have been on a roll, sneaking up against us, especially after they beat us on Friday night in the first of the back-to-back. They beat us 3-2 in overtime. Luckily, the Montreal Canadiens battled back in that one. Perry scored the first goal for us in that one. Then Gaudette and Hoglander for the Vancouver Canucks. And Suzuki late snipes it to tie it up, get us that point. But we go into overtime. And the big talk is the assignments from Dom Ducharme. He's got Deneau Byron out there to start the overtime. And this time their strategy actually worked. Deneau managed to get that puck back, and they held possession for a while. They were looking for the change to have the tired Canucks out there, but it ended up backfiring on them. They're out there with three forwards, and Tatar gets beat by JT Miller, then Suzuki gets beat by JT Miller. He ends it, and the Canucks pick up a huge win that they needed against us Friday night. However, bit of a different story tonight, though. I loved the effort and the game played by the Montreal Canadiens for the most part through this entire game, especially comparing it to the one last night against the Canucks, where they looked a little flat the first two periods and then needed the third to battle back and win. But tonight, Montreal absolutely dominated the Canucks to start that game, holding them just to a few shots in that first period. Unfortunately, Montreal only buried one of their chances, and it was early. Nick Suzuki, basically a replica goal of the one that he scored to tie it up against the Canucks the previous night. Absolute snipe from Suzuki. You love seeing him get up on the board like that, get his confidence going, and you love seeing this power play continue to roll under Dom Ducharme. So they go, it's 1-0 for the Habs going into the second period. Early in the second, though, the Canucks start that period strong, and they get up on the board to tie it up. After a dump-in play, they outman Suzuki behind the red line. Bad giveaway from him down there, and JT Miller gets it to Virtanen, who finishes it off. So they tie it up, and then they go in the power play, and they work the power play quite nice. This was the second and the last power play called on the night by the refs, and the Canucks made it count. And after a quick entry, Hughes gets it over to Brock Besser, puts it on a tee for him, and he fires it over the shoulder of Carey Price to take the lead. Luckily, though, we get Thomas Tatar up on the board after a really strong cycle play by the Habs. And I love seeing how strong and how much improved the Habs cycle play and ability to maintain ozone pressure is under Dominic Ducharme. It is night and day to our previous coach. It's nice to see them not just relying on plays off the rush, but to get that puck in the ozone, cycle it around until they get a high danger scoring chance. And we saw it here. And big credit to Victor Mehta getting an apple on this play. He carries the puck below the red line, and Deneau picks it up, feeds it to Tatar, and Tatar with the snipe through the legs of the Canucks player and through Braden Holtby. Beautifully placed shot from Thomas Tatar there. So that ties it up. But then shortly after that, the Habs take the lead. Tons of goals being scored in this game here. Very exciting game for Hockey Night in Canada. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast watching it with my dad, but this was a big goal to take the lead, and we needed this one because we knew what happened once we get into the third. But it was Edmondson who potted this one from the point, and Weber and Tatar pick up the assists on it. However, it was Gallagher who really initiated this play and kept the play alive with his just work ethic and ability to battle and win those pucks. And he gets it to Tatar, who gets it to Weber, who gets it to Edmondson, who fires one past Braden Holtby. But the Canucks, we go into the third, and they start another period very strong. And it's Bo Horvat getting up on the board from Hughes and Hoglander off the face-off. Then we see Tyler Mott, who has been a standout in every Habs versus Canucks game I've watched this season. He's done something really strong out there, and he seems to love scoring goals on Carey Price, and he does it here. And it started with Howerluck. Nice entry, and he stops up immediately after he crosses that blue line, pushes the defenders back, pushes the Canucks forecheckers towards the net. They get a screen. He passes it over to Mott, who just rips one over Carey Price. Now, Price, at this point, I think he was he let in 4 out of 16 shots. Can't fault him on any single goal. However, I might say you want a big save, but at the end of the day, he wasn't at fault for any of these goals. Kind of got hung out to dry, and at least a couple of them there by his teammates. And he was able to come back and be clutch for us in the end, though, and we'll get into that. And it's Gallagher who ends up tying it up late for the Habs, and it's a set play off the draw. And it was the same goal that helped us tie the game up against the Jets just last week. And I love seeing the Habs with these set plays off the draw. That's something we didn't really see under our previous coach either. We just, the most we'd have for a set play off the draw was to win it to the defenseman and just take a shot. But I love seeing they switch up the alignments, get Gallagher on his off wing so he can come in, wind up a shot, and he rips it. That's a huge, huge tying goal for the Habs. And we go into overtime, and we start with Drouin and Kotkaniemi and Petrie out there. So I don't know if the media got to Dom a little bit, or he just trusts his guys out there, especially Drouin, how he's been playing defensively lately, to get into that 3-on-3 and either make something happen or also to be able to defend if the Canucks end up with possession. But Montreal played a really strong overtime period, outchanced the Vancouver Canucks. Neither of them score though, but I love seeing the Montreal Canadiens play that puck back to Carey Price. That's something I have wondered for the longest time why they don't do that more often. With his ability to play the puck up the ice, especially if he has room out there to do so. They did it 2 or 3 times and ended up working out. We held possession for a long time. Got a few different strong scoring chances. Deneau had one, Tatar had one, Drouin at the end there with the dangles, just moving past the Canucks defenders there with the move. That was some Mooseheads days. Jonathan Drouin coming out to shine. Just in general, how he's played all season has been really impressive. He's playing strong and he's winning battles along the boards and using his body to create space. Love how he's maturing as a hockey player here, and he's starting to kind of get his playback from his old days with the Mooseheads. I don't know if that's Dom Ducharme having an impact on him and really changing his confidence and reminding him what he's capable of, or if he's just growing into his body and it's taking him time to mature. He's not lighting the lamp every single night. He's not a point-a-game player right now, but his progression, he's taken a big step this season, and hopefully it continues. I just got to point out how consistent Jonathan Drouin has been. I said it before, but you love seeing it. So we go into the shootout, and Perry cannot state enough how impactful and important Perry has been for the Montreal Canadiens this season. He scores the first goal in the shootout with a very nice move, waiting out Braden Holtby on that one. Doesn't have much of an angle at the end, but still gets it in there. Then we see Brock Boeser get one for Carey Price. He walks in and shoots. We all knew he was going to do it, but that guy has a laser of a wrister on him. Beautiful goal. Then a bit of a goaltending show. Holtby and Price doing what they can, especially Price, man. He has a save on the blocker side, then a save on the glove side. Stops Miller, stops Horvat. Those were some key saves, and it's Tatar who ends up getting us on the board and helping us get that shootout win. Absolutely huge win, because the Canucks were sneaking up. Now we're 3 points ahead of them with 4 games in hand. The Calgary Flames are on our tail, but we're now 4 points ahead of them with a game in hand. And we got a big series here coming up against the Edmonton Oilers, 3 games in a row, and I'll preview that at the end of this video. But a few more things to go over. Stats here. Montreal outshoots the Canucks tonight 40-18. They threw a ton of pucks on net, had a ton of quality chances. Got to give it to Braden Holtby. He's been up and down all season, but he played great despite letting in 4 goals tonight. 53% in the face-off dot. The Montreal Canadiens, despite playing against some very strong centers, go 53% in the dot. And a lot of the credit there goes to Phil Deneau and Suzuki and KK, who are really rounding out their games. Those 2 young centers are really starting to figure it out in the face-off dot. 1 for 1 on the power play, 0 for 1 on the PK. Not many penalties called, so good discipline by the Habs tonight and the Canucks. 28-26 hits, so fairly physical game. Both teams kept up with each other. And the Canadiens with 14 blocks to the Canucks 21. Like I said, Montreal was throwing everything on net. Now, I got to point out again, the biggest difference I'm finding under Dom Ducharme is the ability for Montreal to get and maintain ozone pressure and really get strong scoring chances and not force plays all the time and just only relying on the rush. It's been a treat to see them cycle and use each other, work as a 5-man unit, and it's paid dividends not only on the 5-on-5 play, but on the power play as well. You're seeing them maintain the pressure, work it around, move their feet if they're not passing the puck. So it's night and day difference to our previous coach. I just had to say it again. So we had Victor Mehta in tonight, who looked really good, really using his speed and challenging the defenders, skating the puck in. And he had a breakaway at one point, had a really nice chance. So if he's going to continue to play like that, let's keep him in the lineup. Speaking of defensemen, Kulak looks even better with more minutes and back being reunited with Jeff Petrie. I love that pair, and it's starting to seem like Edmondson and Weber are starting to figure it out with each other as well, so that's great. Toffoli injured tonight, or in the end of the last game, so he missed this game. Lehkonen draws in. Lehkonen didn't look too bad either, had his feet moving. Of course, he, whiffed a couple pucks wide as per usual, but used his speed, forechecked hard, so I thought he played a good game. Last but not least, I got to get this in here because I've been meaning to say it for a while, but I love watching Kotkaniemi in the center ice position. He's such a responsible center, and that's so impressive for such a young kid. He has no problem reading when he needs to cover defensively or get into the corners in the D zone to retrieve pucks and support his defensemen so they can then move it up the ice. And he covers a lot of ice with a strong, powerful stride, and he's getting some confidence going going offensively as well. So you love to see that. But as much as I like seeing him get on the board offensively, to see this young center actually play the position how it's supposed to be played and take those responsibilities seriously is so impressive, and I cannot wait to see what he does moving forward. We've got a really good situation here with Suzuki and Kotkaniemi moving forward down the road. That's about it, guys. Huge win. We got the series against the Oilers coming up, and McDavid is on absolute fire right now. 58 points in 33 games. Draisaitl's right behind him, 49 points in 33 games. Tyson Barrie is one of the highest scoring defensemen this year. He's putting up a ton of apples playing with those two stars. He's got 30 points in 33 games. Darnell Nurse is having a career year, breakout year as a true top pair, two-way, physical, heavy defenseman. He's putting up points. He's getting the hits. He's getting the blocks. He's playing strong, difficult to play against. This is going to be a tough series. Hopefully it's the goaltending that makes a difference here, because I think the Habs clearly have the edge between Price and Allen. We're getting good starts out of both of them now for the most part. And yeah, but the Oilers are playing really well too, and these are some big games. They're up ahead of us in the standings. We do have some games in hand on them, luckily, though. We could catch them here. I think we're just 3 points behind with a few games in hand, so if we win some of these games, that'll do a lot to really secure our spot in that top 4. Looking forward to it. I'll talk to you after the next one. If you like these videos, let me know what you thought about this game down in the comments, what you're looking forward to against the Oilers, and basically whatever you want to chat about. Get in on the discussion down low and hit the subscribe and like button if you like these videos. Cheers, guys. Go Habs, go!